6:45.
Keeping you in touch with the latest happenings, around the globe. This is Road News and Talk. Balanced, verified, and straight to the point.
Andimi has been killed by his abductors. Adamawa State Can chairman and the Catholic Bishop of Yola Diocese, Bishop Dami Manza, described the murder of the clergy as gruesome and unfortunate. Bishop Manza told some journalists in Yola, that's the Adamawa State capital, that the insurgents had demanded 2 million euros as ransom but went ahead to execute the pastor.
3 days after his abduction, contacts were established with the members of the Boko Haram, and then there were negotiations. Even as of Sunday, negotiations were still going on, but unfortunately, yesterday we heard that they had already executed him on Monday, yesterday. And the message came through somebody that they normally sent their message through. He even sent him a picture of the execution.
He called on the federal government to stop fooling Nigerians on the state of security in the country.
The first thing that the government needs to do is to tell Nigerians the truth. Boko Haram is not defeated, and they are still active and strong. And so the government should stop fooling Nigerians, and they should stop deceiving Nigerians. Boko Haram are still there, and they are still very active. If they are not there, then why should we be experiencing these kind of things? Who can pass from Michika to Maiduguri without military escorts?
Let's take you back to that moment when the late Reverend Lawan Andimi appealed to the federal government to prevail on his abductors to release him.
I am appealing to my colleagues, reverends, and other necessary agents for my release here. These people have been doing good to me. They are filling me with all what I want to eat. They provide a nice place for me to sleep. All people, close and far, colleagues and other wishers, to be patient. Don't cry, don't worry, but thank God for everything. Thank you.
Unfortunately, he did not make it back. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has condemned the killing of Reverend Lawan Andimi by Boko Haram terrorists. In a series of tweets, the president described the murder of the clergyman as inhuman and vowed to ensure the insurgents pay dearly for their actions. Reverend Andimi, who was abducted by Boko Haram terrorists in the early January, was the chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria in Michika local government area of Adamawa State. Away from that now, a scheduled meeting between the presidency and the Southwest governors on the Western Nigeria Security Network Operation Amotekun has been called off. While the Southwest governors could not meet the presidency on Tuesday, various groups in the zone held rallies in their state capitals in support of Amotekun. In Lagos, the police barricaded the venue of the pro-Amotekun rally The Southwest had launched the operation on the 9th of January in Ibadan to help address the rising security challenges, particularly kidnapping and banditry in Ogun, Osun, Oyo, Lagos, Ekiti, and Ondo states.
All this rate of kidnapper, armed robber, herdsmen and farmers problems. We want to put peace. We want to support the security of the state.
The acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ibrahim Magu, says Nigeria is seeking the extradition of high-profile looters to face prosecution. Magu, who stated this in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, while answering a question on the request of President Muhammadu Buhari to the British government for the extradition of Alison Madueke, a former Nigeria petroleum minister who was accused of corruption, said his agency will pursue the anti-graft war with a renewed vigor this year.
We are going to request more extraditions. We will bring back all the looters who are hiding outside this country. Okay. The fight against corruption has just started. I'm telling you, it's renewed this year. Far from it.
Chairman of PFC, how do you feel about this? You
have
not been confident.
No, I feel great. I feel great.
Acting chairman?
Yes. I'm performing. No, I'm not worried. Believe me, I'm not worried.
Okay.
And now to court matters. The Supreme Court has affirmed the election of Samuel Otom as the governor of Benue State. Emmanuel Jimmy of the All Progressives Congress APC had dragged Otom to court over allegations of overvoting and other electoral malpractices during the 2019 governorship elections. But in a unanimous judgment delivered by Justice Sylvester Ongwuta, the Apex Court agreed with the concurrent findings of the Election Petition Tribunal and the Court of Appeal that Otom was the winner of the election. Also affirmed by the Supreme Court was the election of Amadu Fintiri as the duly elected governor of Adamawa State. The panel of 7 justices, led by Justice Olabode Rhodes Vivo, dismissed the appeal filed by the APC and its governorship candidate for lacking in merit. In the transportation sector, the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, is explaining the setbacks being experienced by his ministry to deliver the Lagos-Ibadan standard gauge rail line. Speaking when he went on an inspection tour of the project, Amechi said the contractors were not certain as to when the project will be completed, but assured that with close monitoring, it will be delivered at a record time. He further pointed out that government has procured more couches to address the upsurge of passengers at train stations.
When you ask them that, they say minor stations will be ready. What about the major stations? And there are about 4 major stations, which are Ebute Metta, Papa, Abeokuta, and Ibadan. But the rest, 8 or 9 minor stations, they claim will be ready before April. Arrived on the 18th, is at the seaport. It can't berth because of the congestion. So when it berths, that's when we can bring it out. So they're on the queue. I don't know when they say some say 24th, some say 26th, that's when it will berth. That's when it will get to that time.
And now to neighboring Imo State, where 9 lawmakers of the Imo State House of Assembly have defected to the All Progressives Congress from the People's Democratic Party, All Progressive Grand Alliance, and Action Alliance. The defection started around 3:30 p.m. when the Speaker of the House of Assembly, Collins Chiji, read the letters of the defectors at the floor of the House. The Supreme Court had on January 14 nullified the election of Emeka Hiedioha as the governor of Imo State. Before the defections, the PDP had 13 members in the House, the AA had 8, while ABGA had 6. And back home in Abia State, all is now set for the conduct of a rerun election in Arochukwu and Aba South State constituency of Abia State this Saturday, January 25, 2020. Abia State Resident Electoral Commissioner Joseph Ilo, who disclosed this to newsmen at INEC headquarters in Umuahia after a meeting with security agencies, said the exercise was in conformity to the appeal court order in Owerri.
The elections are scheduled for 15 polling units in Aba South and then 10 polling units in Arochi. We are appealing to politicians to please do the needful. Help us conduct a good election by behaving themselves very well, by operating within the ambit of the law. INEC Abia State is also ready. On Friday, deployment will start at the Central Bank of Nigeria here. The sensitive materials will move from the CBN direct to the local government headquarters.
Abia State Commissioner of Police Ene Okon revealed the preparedness of the security agencies to ensure a hitch-free exercise.
All the security agencies are here. This has gone largely to show you that we are all in synergy with each other. Deployment have been done. What remains for us now is to move to the election venue on Friday. And then we have the elections done on Saturday. We want all the miscreants stay clear of the polling booth. If you don't have any business at the polling booth, stay away.
Abia State government would no longer tolerate any form of encroachment of its property in any part of the state. Chairman of the 6-man committee set up to investigate the encroachments of government land in public schools by individuals, Dr. Anthony Agbazwere stated this when he led members of the committee on a visit to Amakama Olokoro Community Primary School in Umuahia South local government area.
And let me also reiterate that if anybody has any group to fear, it should be God and government. If anybody wants to pretend that he does not know the capacity and sagacity of government, the person should know that he or she is attempting suicide. So not just for Amakama, anywhere in the state that anybody is encroaching on government land, the person is advised now to run away even before we get there. Or put differently, the person should come to us and surrender so that we know he has written that he will no longer go there, so that whatever hammer will no longer fall on the person.
You're listening to Flow News at Dawn on Flow 94.9 FM. The news continues shortly with business, foreign, and sports news. Do stay tuned.
You want furnish your toilet, kitchen, and bedroom. Welcome to OK Technical Construction Company Limited.
Oh yeah, my correct countryman, make you no confuse again. Anytime you want buy floor tiles, plumbing materials, happy you want arrange your bedroom, kitchen and toilet well. OK Technical Construction Company Limited. Now the final boss stop. OK Technical. Now them be the major distributor for various steel doors, fiber bars, kitchen sinks, wall and floor tiles, hot run water tanks, and PVC pipes, Niger PVC pipes, water closets, water heaters, wash and basin, any kind of plumbing materials and general contractor business. My brother, now OK Technical Law, no go buy where. Buy the original Varony, Holbron, and Niger plumbing materials from the major distributor, OK Technical Construction Company Limited. Head office, number 36 Bend Road, Umuahia, or branch office, number 1A, off this line, Industrial Market, Umuahia. OK Technical, the final chairman for plumbing materials.
OK Technical Construction Company Limited.
Thank you very much for staying tuned. And now straight to business. The federal government has been able to secure commercial deals worth over 153.4 billion naira from the inaugural UK Africa Investment Summit, which was held in London. President Muhammadu Buhari, who led a delegation from Nigeria, held meetings with Prime Minister Boris Johnson and His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales. In a statement on the outcome of the summit, the UK said deals worth 324 million euros were announced by Savannah Gas Assets with some Nigerian companies and institutions. And outside Nigeria, the historic impeachment trial of U.S. President Donald Trump opened the debate with fireworks yesterday as Democrats accused Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell of fomenting a cover-up with his proposed rules for the process. The Republican McConnell proposed a set of ground rules that would place strict restrictions on witnesses and evidence for the first stage and moved the trial quickly ahead, saying he would summarily block any Democratic attempt to change his rules. And now straight to sports. The International Federation of Football History and Statistics has ranked the Nigeria Professional Football League as the 57th strongest national league in the world. The NPFL is, however, ranked in 7th position in Africa. The NPFL jumped from 77th in 2018 to 57th position in 2019. And that's sports story wraps up this morning on our first major news bulletin for today. Thank you very much for listening. Join us at 6:45 a.m., noon, and 6 p.m. every weekday for additional newscast. This is Flow 94.9 FM, the flow of God's own state. This bulletin was edited by Ginika Oloha, supervised by Samson Eze. My name is Michael Oni. Coming up is the newspaper headline segment of the Morning Spies with Omoti. Do have a wonderful day.
It's 7 o'clock.
Newspaper review for new Chacha informate. You want to wait in the support for inside Nigerian newspapers them. Waiting the support for inside this country.
In other centers, I know every time it's like what happening for this side.